Listen, Don, I watched this documentary about Russia last night. You've got to check this out.
Let's take a look.
All right, but be warned, your mind is about to be blown. So, you know how the Soviet Union dissolved in the 90s? Russia was an absolute mess for a while there, man.
Is that right?
Jamie, pull that up for me.
In the early 90s, Russians faced lots of choices they didn't really understand. The Russian government announced a program to hand out a chit worth around $40 to every citizen. The chits were called vouchers and could be traded, sold for cash, or exchanged for shares in smaller state-owned enterprises. They were sold as golden tickets to escape the dead end of communism.
Yeah, man, I went down the rabbit hole on this one. It turns out that this is how all those Russian oligarchs made their fortunes.
It was a time of great economic hardship, and the ordinary people didn't realize what this piece of paper was worth. But the people who did sent out people with suitcases full of cash, and they said, look, you don't need that piece of paper. Here, we'll give you $10, and you can go and buy some bread.
Wait, so these grifters just walked up to these regular folks and essentially traded Exxon stocks for a loaf of bread? That's actually brilliant.
Not the choice of words I'd use, but yeah. Anyway, these oligarchs started amassing a fuck ton of money and basically bought their way into power. Boris Yeltsin was their puppet, and they owned every media network in the country.
So there was no fake news? I'm serious.
No, seriously, once the government ran into money troubles, Boris legitimately became their lapdog.
On the verge of collapse, Yeltsin's government desperately needed cash to pay salaries and pensions. The oligarchs agreed to funnel money to the state by making a series of loans the government couldn't afford to repay. When the loans did default, the oligarchs got the right to buy Russia's biggest state enterprises in sham auctions run by the oligarchs themselves. On TV, the deals played like arm's-length banking transactions. In reality, the oligarchs had cut inside deals to pay bargain basement prices for Russia's most valuable assets.
You know, I think I've golfed with a few of those guys. Great guys, powerful guys.
Yeah, I saw in an article, 7 oligarchs, who all became homies, ran over 50% of the economy. Oh yeah, you mentioned fake news? Check this out.
Openly supporting Yeltsin, NTV hatched an elaborate plan to hide the president's ill health. Malyshenko sent a crew to Yeltsin's country home, where he was secretly confined to bed rest after a major heart attack.
We had to demonstrate that Yeltsin is still alive, at least. He was too seriously ill to travel to Moscow. So we took some furniture from his Kremlin office and we reproduced it at his country house. So at this set he was visited by Prime Minister Chernomyrdin, and Yeltsin spoke with him for 30 seconds.
This reminds me of when Sleepy Joe locked himself in his basement. That could never be me. Did you see me when I got COVID? I'm just built different, I guess.
That's the thing, man. If people just worked out and did cold plunges, Big Pharma would go bankrupt.
So where does that boy Putin come into play?
He was working under a mayor somewhere, nothing big yet. Although he was still scheming and making backroom deals.
Putin was accused of launching a kickback scheme to embezzle money meant for food for St. Petersburg, which was facing a famine. When members of the city council raised the issue, Sobchak did not fire Putin. He promoted him to deputy mayor.
So basically, Putin was making a reputation for himself as a guy that could play ball.
Hey, it's just business.
When Putin's boss failed to win re-election in 1996, Putin and some friends flew to Moscow, where they landed low-level jobs at the Kremlin. Putin held 6 jobs in 3 years. By 1999, he was prime minister and Yeltsin's likely successor. But Putin didn't get to the top all by himself.
The oligarchs were, in fact, the force that, in many ways, brought Vladimir Putin to power.
I don't know why people are shocked by this. I'm guessing these bozos never read The Art of the Deal. Say, this is actually getting pretty good. Do you have any snacks in here? Beautiful studio, by the way. I walked in here, I said, wow, this is a beautiful studio.
Sure, we got snacks. And thanks, man, I really appreciate it. You know I've been trying to get you on for a long time. But yeah, here's where Putin really hits his stride.
They were looking for a successor who would basically guarantee their safety and guarantee their wealth.
Ни с кем из так называемых олигархов никогда в никакие конфликты не вступал.
One of the so-called oligarchs set about selling Putin to the public. Boris Berezovsky used his TV channel to mock Putin's political rivals and promote his image as a tough leader.
Say, man, are you a 9/11 truther? Be honest.
Joe, don't tell me you're one of those conspiracy nut jobs.
Do your research, bro.
You know, I actually called into Channel 9 News when the planes hit.
Really?
Jamie, can you pull that up, please?
Donald, I understand you were actually a witness to what happened this morning.
Well, I have a window that looks directly at the World Trade Center, and I saw this huge explosion. I was with a group of people, and
Holy shit.
I really
Unbelievable,
couldn't believe
right?
it. And even, I think, worse than that, for years I've looked right directly at the building. I'd see the Empire State Building in the foreground and the World Trade Center in the background, and now I'm looking at absolutely nothing. It's just gone, and it's just hard to believe.
Wow, that is something else. Anyway, the reason I ask, I know a few intelligence guys that say Putin staged terrorist attacks to gain approval when he was trying to become president.
Oh, you're talking about those apartment bombings. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Terrible tragedy.
Well, in any case, Putin rallied a ton of support afterwards by invading Chechnya. See, this is where it gets crazy. Jamie, hit play.
He's tough. And I think this is the thing that we need in this country at the moment. Some toughness.
Jesus, man. Those Chechens are some tough sons of bitches, too. We've got a lot of those guys in the UFC.
I had a lot of fun at UFC Miami the other night. You had a great call, Joe. Frankly, I don't think I've seen a call like that before.
Thanks, man. Let's keep watching this thing. I think this next part is where Khodorkovsky, one of those billionaires, tried speaking out against Putin.
Я верю, что у нас в стране возможно построить нормальное демократическое общество. Просто для этого кто-то должен первый не испугаться. Я не боюсь.
Я смотрю и вижу стоящее вокруг летного поля оцепление в черной форме. О, думаю, прилетели. Нормально. Нормально.
Khodorkovsky is locked up in an overcrowded Russian prison.
He did 10 years in prison? Wow, Putin really made an example out of him.
See, now this is interesting. I think that a lot of Russians got behind Putin because he put these oligarchs in their place, man.
Oh, absolutely. He drained the swamp over there. He's a strong man, a powerful man. Believe me, he's a strong and powerful man.
Now, hold on. I wouldn't say he drained the swamp. He just made the swamp creatures obey him.
Listen, Joe, he drained the swamp. It was pure chaos over there for years. It went from communist hell to anarchist hell.
Well, maybe, but doesn't a new person mysteriously fall out of a window every other week in Russia? I'm just saying that...
Excuse me, he drained the swamp.
Now, hold on. Jamie, pull up that journalist lady who got whacked.
All right. The other famous case is Anna Politkovskaya, the crusading journalist who was investigating a lot of Kremlin corruption, and she was murdered on Putin's birthday.
Holy shit. That's just one of like 20 people I've heard of. The KGB are some shady fuckers.
Yeah, not gonna lie, it's pretty weird that Putin's been in power since fucking Bill Clinton was in office. Dude has Russia by the balls.
Well, I think that Alexei Navalny fella tried running against Putin recently. He got poisoned right before getting on a flight and had to be put in a coma. Putin was probably pissed he survived. He's a cold-blooded SOB.
Yeah, Putin never falls for my alpha male handshake trick. He's too experienced.
Jamie, see if you can find that compilation of Putin interacting with our presidents.
Gotcha.
If you want to know what my personal assessment is, I think he is fully capable of building a prosperous, strong Russia while preserving freedom and pluralism and the rule of law.
I was able to get a sense of his soul. He's a man deeply committed to his country and the best interests of his country.
Clearly the relationship not quite as warm as maybe he has with other world leaders.
Leaving Russia, the new president had another way to deal with the problem of Vladimir Putin.
We need to speak clearly. We need to speak directly.
I'm looking into your eyes, I told him, smiling. I don't think you have a soul. He looked at me for a second and smiled back. We understand each other, he said. And we did.
Yeah, that totally happened, Sleepy Joe.
an army of automated bots on Twitter, and targeted advertisements on Facebook and Google, calculated to hurt Clinton and help her rival, Donald Trump.
President Putin's view of Trump was a penchant for authoritarianism, a backing off of human rights.
Whoa, cut! Can we cut that?
I think we're live right now.
Jesus Christ, Joe. I thought we were boys.
Jamie, is it too late to cut that? Shit.
Joe, I can't be on here watching videos slandering me. I'm gonna call my lawyer.
Oh, come on, Don. We haven't even gotten to the part where he starts invading Ukraine.
Just for the record, that didn't happen on my watch.
Apocalyptic scenes on the outskirts of the capital city.
A non-stop onslaught over the last 24 hours with mass casualties.
Tens of thousands of civilians trapped in cities under near constant Russian shell fire.
Holy shit. And this is going on right now.
Listen, if I were in charge, I'd have this whole thing stopped overnight.
Is that right?
You gotta know how to deal, baby.
You know, I actually do think there's something to be said about that. Outright opposing Putin and his planet-sized ego seems pretty dangerous. This dude is a fucking psychopath.
Exactly. We just need to wait for him to croak and don't poke him too hard or he'll start nuking shit.
That's not something you could build a bridge across.
Ukraine is calling this a full-scale invasion.
Biggest war in Europe since World War II.
The world is waiting to see just how far Putin's 190,000 troops will go into the country of Ukraine. Will he stop?
With the battle for Ukraine underway, Biden went further than any president before.
See, this is what I'm saying. All of this over a line on a map in bumfuck Eastern Europe, and don't get me started on NATO. They're about as useless as the wall I built on the Mexican border.
Well, you got to admit, U.S. intelligence and equipment has made Putin's invasion look like a clown show.
Clearly something that Vladimir Putin did not expect.
The U.S. and NATO allies are working quickly to arm Ukraine.
Russian forces caught off guard, apparently in disarray.
Russia thought the invasion would be over swiftly. That was before their jets were plummeting from Ukrainian skies.
It's fucked up, man. Putin is just sitting in his high castle while regular folks die over nothing.
It's very sad, very sad. But we need to focus on de-escalating this conflict. Oh, sorry, I gotta take this.
By all means, man.
Hello? You gotta be kidding me. No, I'm on my way. Jesus Christ.
What's going on?
I just got a tip from one of my inside guys. The feds are about to do a sweep. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Oh, come on, man. You can't be serious.
Does it look like I'm joking? I can't afford to catch another case.
Don, sit down and finish the video. Don't be like this.
I'm sorry, Joe. Wait, Jamie, can you unlock this door? Jamie, a little help here? Stop messing around. Joe, why are you standing like that? Does he normally stand like that? Sweet mother of Jesus. Okay, I'll watch the damn video.
It's too late for that, Donald.
Jamie, please.
But hey, what do I know? I'm just a comedian.
I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. On Blueberry Hill. When I found you, the moon stood still. On Blueberry Hill, and linger until my dreams came true. The wind in the willow played love's sweet melody, but all those vows we made were never to be. Though we're apart, you part of me still.